Hello everyone, and welcome to another royal reading here at MadWorldTarot. Now, I'm doing these readings ahead of time because we're away this weekend having a bit of culture, going to see the Foro Requiem among other things, and so easier just to read ahead and upload the readings ahead of time. This reading that I'm doing now is for Easter Sunday, and the reason I'm doing it is because normally all the royals gather at Windsor. They process along to St George's Chapel for Easter service on Sunday. Most of them are going to be there this Sunday, and by the time you watch this reading, it will have happened. They will have been and gone. But some people who are definitely not going to be there this year are the Wales family. They have been there reliably in the past. Then, of course, last year they were not there because Catherine had just received her cancer diagnosis. But they're not going to be there this year either. The reason we're being told is because after discussions with the King, it was agreed that they could have an extended Easter break in Norfolk at Anma Hall, their country home, before the children go back to school. That's what we're being told. I want to know if there's something more sinister afoot. Perhaps I'm using the Gilded Tarot for this one. Very royal tarot. Sorry for the shine from the ring light. And I'm going to ask what might be going on. Last year, famously, Prince Andrew took the lead. He rushed for the church ahead of everyone else, which was rather controversial, not a good look. And of course, this year, the King has got himself into a bit of hot water with his Easter speech, which a lot of people found to be rather inappropriate. I'm trying to pick my words carefully. He referenced Islam in particular, also Judaism, but I think it was the reference to Islam that upset quite a lot of people. So the King's really straying into quite controversial territory with his religious beliefs and the way he's representing the monarchy and himself as the representative of all faiths. Is not going down well with a lot of people. So maybe, just maybe, William and his family are staying away for those kinds of reasons. So we're going to just check. I'm going to do a Celtic cross. Not asking anything in particular. I'm just asking what's going on. Very likely it is just they need extra time together as a family. There might be big burdens, duties, responsibilities heading their way sooner rather than later, and that might be why they are being allowed to stay quite out of the spotlight at the moment. It's causing dismay in some quarters. Some people are getting quite critical of the Walesers, and they're being accused of being lazy and work shy and all that kind of stuff. And where are they when the country needs them? So we're going to have a look at all of this. Going to do a Celtic cross, just a regular Celtic cross, little tweak along the way, and ask what's going on. And of course it is just tarot, and it is just for entertainment purposes, and it's just my opinion, just energy, and disclaimer in the box below. And what joy not to be reading on the other two in Montecito in this little reading, even though it might potentially be a bit of a tricky reading. And as I say, there's some ill feeling towards the monarchy, to all of these working royals at the moment that I'm picking up around in my travels. So let's see what's going on. Shiny, shiny cards because of the ring light. And what's happening? What is going on? Five of Cups. Yeah, there's something going on. That's not a happy card. There's sorrow, grieving, regret, mourning. All of those energies are in the Five of Cups. Kind of a lonely water sign man he's not happy about something. I imagine that is Prince William's energies, not happy about something. And it could just be recovery time, that he's still needing to recover. He went through an incredibly traumatic year last year where he had the weight of the world on his shoulders. Jason Knorf told us that in his interview with 60 Minutes in Australia a few months ago. And he could just need time out to heal. So let's see what the actual cards tell us. Delayed kind of shock I'm getting from that situation. What's going on? What's going on is the Two of Wands. They are planning and they are preparing, and which gives me chills a bit, that they are planning and preparing. William and Catherine. And we all know what they are planning for and preparing for, so I'm not going to labour the point. But that's what's going on. That's the heart of the matter. That is what's really going on. And I think that's where the grief is also coming from. Feeling extremely emotional. It's interesting, there's kind of a grail, there's a cup there. Do I want this cup? Don't I want that cup? It's that kind of energy. Okay, so let's see what the challenge is, the crossing card. And we have the Eight of Pentacles. And the challenge is work, is a job, a task, having to master a certain craft, do your duty, show up. It's in reverse. They really are not showing up at the moment, and it's been noted and criticised quite vocally in places that I'm going and looking. But that's because the weight of that work is about to drop on them. Very heavy work, very heavy burden that they're going to have to show up constantly and work. We're seeing how busy the king is right now. So it's kind of delaying that workload that is going to hit at some stage. And I'm sorry if people find this kind of reading upsetting. It just is what it is, and it shows up relentlessly in the energy. I can't avoid it in these readings. It could have been Prince Andrew, and in which case that would have shown up. It might still show up. So what's really at the root of this situation we've got going on? What's at the root of it? And we've got the Star, and it's in reverse, and it's a card of, and we have to cover her up quickly. It's the card of healing. When it's upright, it's a card of not healing. In reverse, it's a card of despair and a path that lies ahead that you might not feel is your path, your purpose, your role in the world, not wanting that job. Again, same energy coming through for me. So what's the focus at the moment with this little family that's in Norfolk? The focus is on this Tower moment that is coming, and what a shock it's going to be. It's not their own world and their relationship, their family, anything like that. I do think, here comes Fluffy, I do think that they are concerned about the state that the monarchy is in, more than just their own role that is accelerating towards them, their new role. I feel that it's really taking, they're concerned about how the monarchy is being represented, how it's coming across to people, how people are responding to it, how people are going to respond to them when in due course they get their moment. But it's also just the absolute shock of what is coming for them. And I don't suppose we can imagine what that kind of situation is like for an entire family to be thrust into the spotlight, like they're going to be thrust into the spotlight at some stage, and for all the burdens that come onto them and onto their children, and all the troubles in the world that are going on. And I'm sure Prince William knows all kinds of things that would horrify and terrify us if we knew them, and all kinds of things he's going to have to deal with and his family's going to have to deal with. And I'm sure that he's had conversations with his father, with his grandmother, about the shock of this kind of responsibility landing on shoulders that may not feel ready for it. Let's look at the past. Anything in the past that could have added to this little wobble, this need to stay home. We got the Four of Wands in reverse. That's the family upset. It's very clear in this reading for me that it's all about them needing to spend own time together as a little family. There they are in the Four of Wands. They went through that terrible struggle last year, very frightening for themselves, for the children, and they just need time for themselves. So that's very, very, very clear. I don't think it's more sinister than that. Where are we heading near term? What's coming towards them? The Five of Pentacles is difficulty and change. It is the classic card of change, the Five of Pentacles. Doesn't always have to mean that you're cast into the wilderness, as I most usually read it, because we're dealing with usually the two in Montecito when that card shows up. But I think it's coming out of your bubble, your little safe place where you've been, and where the family has kind of become very reliant on each other and possibly quite insular. The little protective bubble, and having to come out of that protective bubble and be quite exposed. And they're going through other changes, George going off to big school and things like that. So there are changes coming. Changes. And the Tower and the Star in reverse. It's a grim reading, this, no question about it. But remember the heart of it, preparing the children too. So a little tweak in the Celtic cross, the King, and how he feels about this, them staying away, having their own time together. Fine, perfectly happy, no drama, they haven't fallen out, he completely gets it. The Sun is about happy times, innocence and play, and just being joyful, and time for that. Need to do that. There's a lot of healing that needs to go on before further troubles land on them, and he gets it completely. He's got no problem with this. So there isn't a drama. I thought there might be a drama. The only drama is the drama we all kind of subceive is coming, and pressure that the little family is under. What's happening? 10 of Swords in reverse, and this is again a very, very difficult card. This is really, I don't want this. And I've seen this energy very often when I read on Prince William. I've found this energy in him over the years that I've read on him here on this channel. Don't want this. It's too hard. It's too much suffering. I'm losing too many people, things, too much freedom, too much privacy, whatever. Don't want it. But I've got to recover from it somehow and heal from it and just get on with the show, because the show is rolling along, like it or not, and or not would be the answer. So hopes and fears for this situation. We've got the Page of Pentacles. Hoping, I think very much hoping that the children are okay with all of these changes, with the spotlight that's really going to be on them. School changes, circumstantial changes, they might have to move home again, all that kind of stuff, that they do okay, that they're stable, that they're in the right learning environment, that they are protected and comfortable, and that their life is routine, and that carries on as best that they can manage that. Outcome for them of just life in general, and we've got Judgment in reverse, and they're waiting for this. They're waiting for this moment, for the call. They're waiting for it, which is why the card is in reverse. They're waiting to be summoned, for that moment where that trumpet sounds and it's their turn. And so it's just delayed, it's waiting, it's like a big pause. It's like everyone's holding their breath at the moment. And I'm sorry again if this is a difficult reading for people. This is just what's come through. It's a very difficult time for the Little Whales family, and I think they need any energetic support you can give them. That is the reading, and thank you for watching. I will see you on the next one.